So hello and welcome to this Adobe Animate tutorial. This is going to be part 4 of creating an HTML5 game, and very quickly I will show you what we are doing. So basically I'm going to have a grid of shapes and I'm going to have button play, and if I'm going to click on button play, some random shapes are going to be selected like so, and right now after a few seconds they are going to reset, and out of memory I'm going to click them like so. And if I'm going to click them correctly, I'm going to have text winner, and I am one more time going to have button play. And if I'm going to click, I will go to new level with the 4 shapes and so on. So as I said, this is going to be part 4, and if you didn't watch previous parts, I highly recommend you to start from the part 1, because otherwise this is probably not going to make that much sense. But yeah, we are just continuing. And right now we can start. Okay, so right now I am in the Adobe Animate and I will show you what we have so far. So I will go with Ctrl Enter, Command Enter. I am going to open the console, and basically I am going to have the button play, and if I am going to click button play, my shapes are going to change like so, and I cannot click nothing for now. Only when the shapes are going to reset, right now I can click, and if I am going to click on the correct shapes, they are going to change the alpha, and if I'm going to click on the incorrect shape, they are going to change the rotation for now. So yeah, basically this is what we have for now. And now I will go to the code, and I'm going to create a recapitulation, but this is not going to be like, I'm not going to explaining because I was explaining in other parts. I will just recapitulate what we have, because you may be watching part 4 in other day than you watched part 3 or whatever. So basically we have the initial array, which is going to contain all of the shapes. We are going to have target blues, where we are going to be pushing the shapes that we are going to select. We have score, which is going to be 0. Then we have listener on the btn play, and we are going to call a start game function. I can delete the space in here. And in the start game, firstly we are going to generate nums. So it is the function where we are generating the random numbers. We are changing the opacity of the shapes. We are pushing the shapes to the target blues, and we are splicing, deleting those shapes from the my blues. So after the generate nums is going to happen, target blues is going to contain 5 shapes, and my blues is going to contain only 4 shapes. Okay, and together they are going to contain all of the shapes. And then in the start game we are going to have set timeout, which is going to call function reset target alpha in 5 seconds, in 5000 milliseconds. So we are going to generate nums, everything is going to happen, and then we are going to wait 5 seconds, and after 5 seconds we are going to call the function reset alpha, where is going to be for loop on the target blues, which are the selected shapes, which changed the alpha to the 0.5, and we are going to make them to be 1. And after the for loop is done, we are going to call two functions, add correct listeners and add wrong listeners. I showed you in the part 3 that there are multiple ways how you can do this. I am going to keep it for now as it is. And add correct listeners is going to call the function which is going to be this one, and we are going to have a for loop which is going to loop through all of the target blues.length, and we are going to have a listener click, and we are going to call function correct shape click. And in here we are with the setting like current target, which is going to tell us which shape we clicked, and we are going to store it into variable. We are going to change the opacity to 0.2. We are going to remove the listener on that one, so we cannot click it more than once. We are going to increase the score. We are going to console.log the score, and we are going to check if the score is equal to the length of my target blues. If the target blues contain 3 elements, we want this to be 3. If it contains 5, we want this to be 5. If 7, we want to 7. I explained this couple of times, so yeah. And then we are going to have this add wrong listeners both of these are going to like happen in like same time, you know. So then we are going to add this one, and we are going to add this one, but it is like going to happen simultaneously. And then we are going to have add wrong listeners, which is going to loop through my blues of I, which at the beginning contained all of the elements, and right now is going to contain just the elements that were not selected. And we are going to put the listener click, and we are going to call the function wrong shape click. And in the function wrong shape click, we put like this e. We do not need it that much, but we have this current target rotation is 40, so we are going to change the rotation of that shape to be 40, and we are going to console.log that you clicked on the wrong shape. So yeah, I showed you, but basically this is what we have. I click play, we are going to wait. Right now we cannot click anything, then it is going to reset, and I'm going to have add the correct shape click and add wrong. And right now, if I click on the correct ones, they are going to change the alpha. And if I click on the wrong one, they are going to change the rotation. So the first thing that we are going to do in this tutorial is when I click on button play, I am going to have the shapes. But if I click one more time, I am going to have some error. So yeah. So what we want to do is we want to remove the even listener when we click button play, or we want to hide it. So very simply, I will go to my start game function, and what I want to do is I want to copy this like so, Ctrl C. I want to go to the start game, Ctrl V, and I am going to change that this btn play dot remove even listener click start game. Okay, but there is one issue, and it is not going to be working. So yeah, because we cannot use keyword this inside of the functions. And why we cannot use keyword this inside of the function? The reason is that if I go outside of the function and I am going to console.log this, it is going to refer to the main timeline. So I will go with Ctrl Enter, and I am going to have library untitled 3 because that's how is my project name. If I would have this memory game, I would have memory game or something. But if I'm going to console.log this inside of the start game, I will go console.log this. So this is going to happen when I click play. I am going to have some kind of window or something. So basically this inside of the function is referring to the function, and this inside of the outside of the functions is referring to the timeline. And we need to go this timeline, btn play, and so on. So what we do for this, I have a complete separate tutorial for this. You can search it on my channel. It should be somewhere top. But yeah, but what I'm going to do, somewhere top, it depends when you are going to see this, but I will go to the complete top of my code, and I am going to say that let root is going to be equal to this, like so. And right now, if I console.log root, it is going to be my timeline, like so, library untitled 3. But if I am going to cut this, and I am going to console.log root inside of my start game, like so, Ctrl Enter, like so, and I will click play. It is going to be also library untitled 3. That is going to be some stuff, but yeah, it is going to refer to the same thing. So what we need to do basically when we want to get something like this btn play inside of the function, we need to instead of the keyword this, use keyword root. So I will just go like this, and I am going to say that root btn play remove even listener and so on. You can try to keep this as a this, and you will see that you will have an error. I can show you in a moment, but right now I will go root btn play remove even listener and so on. So right now, if I click on the button play, I cannot click it anymore. Okay, and if I would have this as a this and not the root, like so, I will go with Ctrl Enter. I would have some kind of error because yeah, there is not such thing as this function btn play. There is only this timeline btn play. But yeah, or what we can do is we can simply go root.btn play, and we are going to go visible is going to be equal to false, like so. So right now, if I'm going to go with Control Enter and I'm going to click on my button, it is going to disappear. So when I am making my button to disappear, I can potentially get rid of, I'm going to comment out this root btn play remove even listener, because I am going to make the button invisible. So I do not need to remove the even listener, because you cannot click something which is not visible. Okay, but you could keep this, that's completely fine. But later on, we are going to make the button again visible. And if we would remove even listener, we would have to add listener one more time. I can show you, but for now, I am going to keep this commented. And basically, if I click on button play, it is going to disappear. Now what we are going to do is we are going to create text when we win and text when we lose. So I will just rename this in here. So I will double click. This is going to be btn play, like so. Okay. Okay, fine. That's just some naming, but I'm going to have btn play, and I'm going to create new layer. And on this new layer, I am going to get a rectangle tool. I am going to get white color, and I am going to create some shape like so. And I will get a text tool while I am on the same layer, and I am going to get green color, and I am going to type winner like so. And I want to have static text. Okay, there is option for the dynamic text. I want to have static text. Now I am going to align this. So I will click on the shape with shift on the winner like so, and I can go to the align tool and I can align it to the left or to the center. I want to align it to the center like so. Right now I can see that my shapes are not aligned, but we talked about this at the beginning, that we are not going to be worried about aligning these shapes. But now what I want to do is I will click on the shape with shift on the winner, or I can click on the layer 1 and it is going to select me both of them on the layer where I have the shape and winner, and I will go with F8 and I am going to call this to be txt winner like so. Make sure it is movie clip. Registration point doesn't matter because we are not getting this directly from the library, but yeah. And I will click on this. I will go to the instance name and I am going to call this to be txt winner like so. Okay. Now what I could do is I can hide this for the moment. I can create new layer, and on the new layer one more time I can create some shape, and right now I would create txt loser. But if I want to have the shape the same as for the txt winner, what I could do is I can delete this and I can delete this layer too. And what we could do, I will hide this, but you do not need to do this like so. You can create new layer and so on. So I do not want to confuse you. But what we can do is we can go to the layer 1. I will right click. I'm going to choose duplicate layers. Okay, so right now I am going to have two layers which are going to have the same thing. Layer copy, if I show it, has txt winner, and layer 1 has txt winner. So I am going to show the layer copy. I will click on this. I will go to the modify and I will go to the break apart. So it is going to like break me this apart back to the shape and txt winner. And I can change this to be loser like so. I can change the color and I can align this. But if this was confusing, don't worry. You can just create new layer and create one more time the shape, but you may not get the same exact shape. But yeah, basically this is one of the way how you can make this to be the same. And now I am going to select it either with shift and not shift but click and then shift, or I can just click on the layer 1 copy and I will go with F8, and this is going to be txt loser, like so, and OK. And I am going to click on this, and I am going to have txt loser. So very simply, I have two layers. On one layer I have txt winner, which is movie clip, and on other one I have txt loser, which is movie clip. If the part with the break apart was confusing, just create new layer, create the shape, create text loser, convert it to the symbol, and yeah. Okay, I will go with Ctrl Enter, and we are going to see txt loser, and below that is txt winner. So what we need to do in our code is we need to hide them at the beginning. So yeah, one thing that I will do is I will put some of my variables to the top. So let the root is equal, this is going to be on the top. Also score I am going to put on the top. And right now I am going to type that this txt loser, and I will go visible is going to be equal to false, like so. Okay, so basically right now I am going to hide txt loser, and I am going to do the same thing with the txt winner. So I am going to duplicate this, Ctrl D, Ctrl C, Ctrl V, and I am going to go txt winner, visible is going to be false, and right now I am going to hide both of them. And now what I want to do is very simply when I am going to win, so I am going to copy txt winner. I will go to the function where I am, when I have add correct listeners, and below that I am going to have correct shape click. And in here I have this if statement, which is going to determine if I win. I explained this, so yeah, we are console.logging winner, and I am going to make that this txt winner visible is going to be true. But one more time, we are in the function, we cannot use this, we need to use root. I hope that this makes sense. But yeah, and I will go with Ctrl Enter, and if I am going to win, I will have to wait these 5 seconds, but if I am going to win, I should have txt winner to be visible. And the same thing we are going to do with the txt loser. I will copy this like so, and I will go to the function wrong shape click, where when we click on the wrong shape, we can change the rotation. Later on we will delete this. We are going to console.log you click on the wrong shape, or I can console.log you lost because you click on the wrong shape, and I am going to make a root txt loser visible to be true. Okay, I will go with Ctrl Enter. I will click button play. I will have to wait, and I am going to click on the wrong shape like so, and I am going to have text loser. Now the next thing that we are going to do is we are going to reset these listeners, because right now I clicked on the incorrect shape. I have loser, but I can still click all of the shapes, and yeah. So what we are going to do is we are going to create a function which is going to be a reset game. I am going to put the function on the bottom, but for now I am going to put it somewhere here. You know, the order of the function doesn't matter that much. What is important is like order of how you call the functions. So yeah, but yeah, I am going to create a function reset game like so, and yeah, and what I'm going to do is in the wrong shape click, after I'm going to make root txt loser visible is going to be true, I am going to call the function reset game. Okay, like so. So what do we want to do in a reset game? So firstly, what we can do is we can remove the listeners on the wrong shapes. Okay, so in here I have the for loop add wrong listeners, and I have function add wrong listeners, and I have a for loop which is my blues.length, because this is like the original array. I explained this, but yeah. But what I am simply going to do is I am going to copy this like so. I am going to I will go to my reset game. I will paste this, and I am going to go my blues I dot remove even listener, like so. Okay, so basically what I am doing is when I click on the wrong shape, I am going to remove all of the listeners that I put on the wrong shape. So in here we are in the for loop adding listeners to all of the wrong shapes, and right now we are removing the listeners on the wrong shapes. It will make sense if I go with Control Enter, Command Enter. I will go with F12. I will click play. Okay, I will have to wait. You can see that these three are the wrong ones. And if I'm going to click this one, the wrong one, I cannot click the other wrong one. Okay, because right now we have removed them, and yeah. But I can still click the correct one. Okay. So it is going to be the next thing that we are going to do. We are going to remove in the reset game the correct one. For now, I can create a comment. In the part 5, we are going to adjust this little bit because this reset game may be not that readable with all of the for loops. But I'm going to go remove wrong listeners, like so. And now I will go to the place where I am adding the correct listeners. So it is going to be this for loop where we have target plus I, add listener. So we are adding listener to all of the correct shapes. And I will go to the reset game like so. And I am going to paste this, and I will go let target I is 0, while target blues is, while I is going to be smaller than target blues.length, I plus plus, you know, we talked about this. But I will just go, instead of add, I will go with remove, like so. And I can put a comment in here that remove correct listeners, like so. I will go with Control Enter, and now I will click play. And if I am going to click on the incorrect shape, like so, I am going to have a loser. But I am going to remove all of the correct shapes, and I am going to remove all of the wrong listeners. So right now I cannot click nothing anymore. Okay, so yeah. And the same thing we are going to do in when we win. So we are going to also call the function reset game when we win. I will but before of that, I will just show you what is going to happen when we win. So I will go with Control Enter, and I will click play, and I will have to wait, and I will click on this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one. Okay, I am going to have winner, but I can still click on the wrong one. Okay, so yeah, and in the correct one, I will go in here. What we are doing is we are removing the listener on the click on the shape that we click. So we have blue remove listener, click correct shape, click. So one more time, in the correct one, when I click on the correct one, we are like removing it. I cannot click it anymore. But anyway, what I'm going to do is in here, when I'm going to win, I'm going to call the function reset game, like so. Okay, and right now when I'm going to win, I will one more time, maybe I could have make this 2 seconds, but right now if I am going to win, like so, I am going to call the reset game, which is going to reset all of the correct shapes, which we removed anyway because we removed it one by one when we clicked on them, but it is going to remove them, but it is also going to remove the wrong shapes. So right now I cannot click anything. So yeah, this is something which is important to remove your listeners. The next thing that we are going to do in a reset game is we are going to make the score to be equal to B0, because you know we want score at the beginning of each game to be 0. And then what we are going to do is we will go root btn play visible to be equal to true. Okay, so if I'm going to win or if I'm going to lose, I am going to make my button to be one more time visible. So let's say that I am going to win, and my button is going to be visible. Okay, now in the start game function, I make root btn play visible to be false, and I commented out this remove listener, because when we make this invisible, we do not need to, remove the listener. But if I would remove the listener, what I would have to do, I will copy this. I would have to in the reset game add it. So in the reset game, I would have to go like this, and one more time I would have to go root btn play add the event listener. Okay, start game and so on. But I am going to delete this, and I am going to comment it out in the start game. I just wanted to show you that if you remove your listener on the btn play, you need to add it. The next thing that we want to do is we need to reset our arrays. So at the beginning, target blues was empty array, and right now it is going to contain five elements, 5 shapes. So I want to, in a reset game, make target blues to be empty again. Okay, so I will go to the reset game, and you may want to go like target blues is going to be equal to empty array. We do not want to do this for a couple of reasons. That's not for this tutorial, but if you want to make the array to be empty, very simple way what you can do is go target blues dot length is going to be equal to 0. Basically this is saying whatever is in the array, I said that length is going to be 0, so there is going to be nothing. Okay, and now my blues at the beginning contain all of the shapes, but right now, because we spliced them, we deleted the chosen one, we are going to have only 4 shapes in here, and we want to make my blues to be we want to have all of the shapes one more time in my blues. So what I'm going to do in a reset game is I am going to say that at the beginning I am going to reset it. So I will go my blues dot length is going to be equal to 0. So I am going to make it to don't have any shape. And now what I'm going to do, we are going to remake this in part 5, but I will copy all of this like so, all of this inside of the array, and I am going to say that my blues dot push. Okay, I showed you the push because we are pushing, and we are going to push everything like so. Okay, we are going to remake this in part 5 because we are repeating the code, but yeah. And one thing that we need to do is we need to go instead of this every time with the root, because this is not going to work in the function, inside of the function. But yeah, I will go like this, and yeah, basically we need to fill everything like so. Very quickly, I will just show you, because this may be a little bit confusing, that if I'm going to have some array, let's say const names is going to be equal to an empty array. I showed you like names dot push and Martin, for example, and then we had other line which was names dot push Monica, like so. But what I can do is I can go names.push Martin, comma, Monica, like so, Monica, comma, Andrea, and so on. Okay, I messed this somehow, like so. But we can push at once as many elements as we want. And that's exactly what we are doing in here. Like so, we are pushing, we are making my blues to be empty, like get rid of everything that is inside, and make, you know, make the array my blues to be filled with all of the shapes. Okay, I will go with Control Enter, and we are almost done. There is last one thing that we need to do. I will click play, and we are going to change the alpha of the shapes, and now I am going to click them like so. Let's say that I am going to win. What I also need to do as the last thing, to loop through my blues, which right now is filled with the shapes, and make all of the shapes to have alpha 0, because alpha 1, because at the beginning we had everything as alpha 1. So yeah, I will make a recapitulation in part 5, and in part 5 we are going to play with this little bit. But what I'm going to do is I am going to fill my blues with all of the shapes, and then I am going to create for loop. So for let I is going to be equal to be 0, while I is going to be smaller than my blues.length. So I want to go through all of the shapes like so, I plus plus, and I want to say that my blues I, so all of them, dot alpha is going to be equal to 1. Okay, the last thing, I said this once, but yeah, in the wrong shape click we are changing current target rotation to be 40. We are going to delete this, but if we want it, we could go also my blues I rotation is going to be equal to 0, but I am going to get rid of this, and we are not going to in the wrong shape change the rotation like so. But yeah, basically right now I will go with Control Enter, and we are going to have fully functional game. I will click button play. I am going to have this like so. I cannot click, and right now I can click the correct shapes like so. I am going to have TXT winner, and I am going to click play one more time, and yeah, I can one more time click all of the shapes like so, and I am going to be like so. So the only thing right now which doesn't work is that the winner text is not going to go away, and the same thing if I am going to lose, TXT loser won't go away. So I will click, I am going to have loser, I can play one more time like so, but text loser won't go away. So what we need to do is we need to go to the start game function, and we are going to copy all of this TXT loser and TXT winner, and in the start game we are going to make them to be invisible. I will have to change this to be root, and I will have to change this one to be root like so. But basically we are going to say root TXT loser visible is going to be false, and root TXT winner visible is to be false. Basically at the beginning we are saying that they are false, so on the first round they are false, but that it's not an issue if something is false and I'm going to make it to be visible false. It's fine. If TXT winner at the beginning is visible false and I will one more time go visible false, that's fine. But on the second round, one of them is going to be visible because we are either going to win or lose. So we are at the beginning going to simply hide both of them, and the one that was visible is going to be invisible, one that was invisible is going to stay invisible. Hopefully this makes sense. But right now, except of the levels that we are going to create in a part 5, we are going to have fully functional game with the reset. Every time we are going to generate different numbers like so, and yeah. And it is going to work when we win, and it is also going to work when we lose, and so on. So yeah, we are going to cut it right now for the part 4. In the part 5, we are going to go to this reset game, and we are going to make it more readable. Okay, you will see. And we are going to adjust this little bit because we are like repeating the code, and we are going to make the levels, and basically then we are going to be done. So if you manage to get to this point, congratulations. Even if you don't watch part 5, you already probably learned a lot, I hope. But I hope that you will continue to the part 5, where we are going to finish this. And yeah, thank you very much. I hope that you have learned something. Enjoy your day, and goodbye.